And for the first secret, I would like to show you impacts, which has two. And the first one I'd like to show you is the background for the title screen. These little houses here are part of the background, but this isn't really where it's taken. I think these are extra placements. It's actually taken back here. And it's still pretty cool because uh, you can actually walk out here, unlike most of the maps. Although these objects are, you do go through these houses. It's weird. On Impact, there's also these roads that surround all the farms. But there's also another thing over there I'm going to show you. And here is the last little area I'd like to show you. This nice little tree area. It looks more like a skeleton on fire. Note that everywhere out here until the green border back there that you can walk on. Here, let me show you. Alright, here we are at the border. Let me show you that you do in fact go through it at a certain point. This is where the grass stops being solid. And I'm pretty sure it's green grass over there. Here, I'll show you real quick if I land. You fall. You hit the death border.
Lost the lead.
Also, usually there would be a border right here blocking you off from this thing, but this thing also has a bound. You can actually walk on that thing. Anyways, let's go on to the next map. And the second place I'd like to show you is Oasis. This is the second most interesting. First off, you can walk on this hotel. And fun fact, the top of it is not textured. Don't let that fool you. There's no way to get in, no matter what you try. At least on PS4. Then you can get onto both of these green islands, this one and this one. And there's moving stuff out here. And fun fact, you can actually walk on most of this stuff here. First, I'll show you this. If I can land on it. Which I can. And this is all solid. And so is this one over here. But that's not interesting. Here, give me a minute and I'll show you what's interesting. First off, there's this area with a bunch of bugged out palm trees that you can never see from over there.
5 minutes remaining.
Great way to interrupt. Thank you. I don't need to show you both sides, but you can walk on these. This mountain is walkable. You can walk on the mountain, which is very interesting. Plus, there's some invisible borders you can walk on. Even though you can't walk on the sand, there's a layer underneath that you can walk on. And if we get to a high hill of sand like right here, this is the layer of sand you can walk on. And it spreads out until all the way to like way back there. About the same distance as Impact to its center. So that's Oasis. We'll go on to the next map. Alright, in my opinion, the third most interesting map is this map. It's Lava Well. And most of this you cannot walk on, except just like the Oasis, there is a layer you can walk on. You know, if I can land on it. Oh no, there is no layer you can walk on. But there's some areas you can walk on, but you can't really walk in this area. But there's an area like right here where you can walk on. Most of these you can walk on. I think yeah, there's like a lower layer here you can walk on these. And lava's treated like water, and the rest of that's not solid. This is a fairly interesting area out here. You would have never been able to see what's back here. But give me a second, we're gonna figure out what's behind this mountain. Here's what's on the other side of the mountain. That's just the edge of the skybox, which is this pretty cool smoke haze. But give me one more minute, and we're gonna get on top of this mountain. And here is the top of Lava Well. There's not much up here, nothing as a border. So that's basically it for Lava Well. It is quite an interesting map, though. Alright, so let's move on to the next map. Alright, the third most interesting map in my opinion is Abyss. And you might be wondering why, it's an indoor map. Here, I'll show you, give me a minute. You see this area up here? You can actually, this area doesn't have any borders of any kind. So you can actually get out of the map. And there's a border up here, but it doesn't matter. Because you can just go through this. And boom. Here's this map on the outside. You can, from out here, you can walk on this waterfall. You can't get back in the map that way. These green platforms are actually walkable on. You can walk on these platforms. Interesting. So interesting, isn't there? You can also go down here. There's not much down here though. And then this is the area under the map, but if you go too far down, you'll hit the death border. Interesting fact, you can actually shoot portals through here. And there's an area right here you can't go to. And I hit the death border. And basically that's it for this map. This map isn't. The maps from here on out aren't really too interesting. Alright, the fifth most interesting map is Foregone Destruction. Most of the things around here are, you can walk on most of it, you just don't go through it. But there are some objects on this map that you can go through. Fun fact, this is actually what's on top of those towers. And yes, you can walk on it. But there's a border kinda right here. So you can easily go through it. This thing also you can walk on. And then most of the area up here is actually a black void. You're surrounded by this thing that looks like it's the boundary, but I think it's only, none of these walls are really, like nothing here you can walk on. It's all walk through. Unless you might be able to walk on this area. Let me check when I fall back down. And the answer is no, you cannot walk through them. Let's move on to the next map. Wait, there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys, and it's this cave that connects to the middle here. It actually goes on to this cool beam of light. Proves this map is in some kind of ravine. The music gets really weird right here. And then all the effects go away when you go to the top. It goes back to its wild black void. It's actually this thing. Which is interesting enough. I wonder if it has boundaries. Give me a second. And the answer is no, it does not have boundaries. Alright, let's actually move on to the next map. The next map I'd like to show you some secrets is Stadium. The first one is up here. There's patches of grass that you can walk on. You can also walk, everything up here has some kind of border. Like, you just don't go through everything here. But that's not really the most interesting part about Stadium. The most interesting part is under the map. Which in fact you can go through this, because this is the one of the only objects except for the area under Stadium that you can go through. And that other object is this random spin turret thing right under the railgun spawn. This is where the railgun would normally spawn at. And there's this area right under it for some reason. I don't know what the purpose was, but that's it. Alright, let's move on to the next map. Alright, Highland is very interesting. It doesn't really have that many areas you can go to, but you can go up here and see some of this, like this Chinese symbol you can go through. You can go through about everything in this map. There's not really much areas up here you can go to. Well, I don't think there actually is areas up here you can go to. You go through everything that was up here. But you can walk on top of these houses. Some areas like this have a boundary. You can walk on this. And then you can also walk on this area down here. I've been caught on these trees down here for so many times. That's how I've died.
Lost the lead.
Well, that's it for Highland. Let's move on to the next map. This map is Pantheon, and there's only a few things to show, which is the top of here and these towers back here. Everything, all of these towers you can go through. You can't land on these towers. Hold on, let me get over there to show you what. Actually, it doesn't need to. But these towers have 02B and 01A on them. And that's really it for Oasis. You can't really walk on any of these other islands. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next map.
Deathmatch.
Alright, there's only one thing on Olympus, and these portals in the sky are interesting, but you can't reach them. There's a border physically preventing you. It's these things. Both Olympuses. Except, there's only one problem with them. You guessed it. If you guessed you couldn't stand on them, you would be correct. These things are actually bigger than the whole map down there itself. This map really doesn't have anything to hide. These things are kind of cool, I guess. I don't know what you do with that. And that, just like that. The thing up here you go through, and then just like that, there's nothing up here. There's no secrets. Everything up here you go through. And that's it. Goodbye. Actually, we're gonna move on to the next 4 maps because they have nothing to hide. Literally nothing. They are the worst maps for secrets. And those maps are
Match.
Helix, due to its borders on the side and the border on the ceiling.
Match.
Club Silo, to literally having no way to get outside. It'd probably be very cool to see what this looks like from outside, but there is no physical way to get outside. Atlantis having the same problems as both Highland and just the same problems as
Gain the lead.
Club Silo. There's only one thing on Crag you can reach, and it's these 3 caves, but they all have borders at the end. The only reason I couldn't go anywhere else is because the top of the ceiling has a border too. It's quite annoying. Here, I'll show you real quick as I throughout the end of the video talk. It would be really nice if you guys subscribed. If this video got more than 3 views, that would be pretty cool too. Or like 2 minutes of watch time, that would also be very cool. But there's no way to get up here because there's a border, sadly. So anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Goodbye, guys. In my opinion, the 3rd most interesting map is the lava well. Most of this you can't actually walk on it. Who's calling me? Scam number. I gotta start over. Thank you.